Hello and welcome to From Upside Down to Right Side Up. This is a show that was formerly known as Tips for the Transition, and we're not changing what we do here. We're still going to share tips for the transition. I'm María Tomás-Keegan, your host, and this is my continuing interview series in which I chat with strong, resilient women who have inspiring stories of transformation to tell and are courageous enough to share them here with us. Today, my guest is Rebecca Hall Gruyter, who suffered abuse as a young child and learned to be invisible and hide behind a smile. This is a story of survival, overcoming, and becoming a voice to help others share their voice. The title of this segment is Choose to be Visible and Shine. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, I'm honored to be here today. Thank you for having me.
I am so honored to have you as my guest today. Abuse is a difficult subject and one many women can't find the courage to tell. Would you please share your story and tell us why visibility is so important to you?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. And you're right, it isn't something that a lot of us are comfortable talking about. And actually, I was very resistant to start sharing my story when I was called to start doing so. And so here's just a little bit of my journey. So when I was a young girl, about 5.5 years old, my parents got divorced. And that changed the world that I lived in. Suddenly, I was put into an environment that was unsafe. I experienced all kinds of things a little girl shouldn't know about, much less experience. And when I cried out for help as a little girl, it's not always understood what you're asking for, the help that you need. It wasn't believed, it wasn't understood, and I was put back in the environment, and it became more and more severe. So I decided I must not matter. I'm not okay. There's something horribly wrong with me that's causing this. It must be my fault. I'm not lovable. And it is absolutely not safe to be seen or heard in any way, shape, or form. So I strove to be invisible, hoping that would help me survive and get through. I was that little girl that smiled really big, but I had those sad eyes. If you looked a little bit more closely, I never wanted to go home. I tried to stay at school. Any extra credit bonus, anything I could do, I would cling to that environment. Eventually, the truth did come out, and I was rescued, for which I'm very, very grateful for. My birth father and my stepmom are heroes and heroines in my life and rescued me. And I was moved into this new environment where I got to go on a healing journey. And some of what I discovered is that I actually mattered, that I had great value. I came at great cost to them. I must have great value. They loved me, so I discovered I'm lovable. And it actually wasn't my fault, and that I was safe to be seen and heard. But I can tell you that was the longest and hardest part of my journey. Because it's one thing to know things intellectually. I feel like we know a lot of things intellectually. We have all kinds of certifications and things that we know. It's very different to live it, to believe it on a cellular level and have it become part of you. And that's been the part of my journey that has been most challenging and stretching and rewarding for me. And this now, if we kind of fast forward, I have the opportunity to be a voice and to help other voices come forward and share and impact people. Because when I look around the world, I look out into it. I see men and women that are still believing those lies, that they don't matter, that they're not okay, that there's something wrong with them and it's not safe. And it spurs me on and encourages me to add my voice and encourage others too, so that we can step into truth and stop believing those lies.
Wow. That's so powerful. What you just said, there are so many people still out there who are believing the lies that they are not worthy, that they're not lovable. And I find the same thing, and I think it's the way you and I do what we do for a living. And I am so happy that you shared that piece, especially the journey you went on. Thank God you were rescued.
Yes.
I'm so happy that happened for you. It doesn't happen for everyone.
No, it doesn't.
And that may be why they still believe the lies.
Yes.
So this compelling story, Rebecca, I would like to ask you in our next segment to go a little bit further into the emotions that you felt on that journey and how they affected you in that healing process, and how they helped you to choose visibility going forward. So I'm María Tomás-Keegan. Till next time, stay tuned.